In fact, just about an hour ago, described the moments that she realized a gunman had killed her father and her 14-year-old son. It happened yesterday at a Jewish community center in one of 2 shootings. She said she knew right away that her dad was gone, and she held out hope for her son, but he did not survive.
They were going to the Jewish Community Center for Reet to try out for Kansas City Superstar. And Reet's a freshman, and you can try out for that program when you're in high school, and he's been wanting to try out for 3 years. And this was his first time to get to try out. He's been practicing, and he had 2 songs that he thought he might get the chance to sing too, but the first one was On the Street Where You Live from My Fair Lady. He was dressed in a coat and tie and a black shirt and a hat. He was all ready. And then if they were going to give him a chance to sing again, he was going to sing You Will Miss Me When I'm Gone. And I was lucky enough to get to hear both of those songs before he left the house. I waited for my dad to pick him up, make sure everything was okay. And I had him sing them one more time. And I got to kiss him and tell him I loved him. And I left for a lacrosse game that got canceled then due to weather. And I left the lacrosse game and headed to the Jewish Community Center. And I didn't have my phone, but at the time I didn't need it. And when I pulled into the parking lot, I saw that my dad's truck was there and that the car doors were open. And I wondered why my dad wasn't just standing there. And as I pulled up, I saw that he was lying on the ground. And my first thought was that he'd had a heart attack. You know, he was just lying there. But very quickly I realized that it wasn't that. And I knew that my dad was in heaven within seconds. And I ran around the truck and I saw my son lying there, and there were already 2 people with him. There were 2 men whom I don't know. And they were holding him, and I did not get a good look at him. I saw just that he seemed a little lifeless, but I did not get a significant look at him before someone named Mickey, who I'm very blessed for him, grabbed me and held me very tightly and pulled me away from the scene. And as I went into the Jewish Community Center, I saw bullet holes in the glass, and then it started to dawn on me what had happened. And I want to thank the Jewish Community Center. It was very unreal, and no one should have to go through that. But they, they were careful in locking down the location. It was a crime scene, and it didn't feel like a crime scene to me. It was my family. I had 2 family members that were lying on the ground. So I felt a lot of comfort. I felt God immediately. I prayed that Reet would survive. I prayed and prayed and prayed that he would survive. But I've later found out why he didn't. I know that they both died from head trauma. And I feel confident from what I heard that they didn't feel anything. They didn't know what was coming. They were ambushed. So it's going to be really hard. And I wanted to tell people that last night at the vigil. This isn't easy. People keep saying, how come you're so strong? And I'm strong because I have family. I'm strong because I have faith. I know that God did not do this. I know that there are evil actions. But what we do have is each other.
Her father and son, she says, were ambushed and murdered. She says her father was a physician, her son an Eagle Scout. We're learning much more about the man who did this. Police say he has a long history of racism and anti-Semitism. They call his actions a hate crime.
We have arrested Frazier Glenn Cross Jr., a 73-year-old white male from Aurora, Missouri. He also goes by the alias of Glenn Frazier Miller. We have unquestionably determined through the work of local and federal law enforcement agencies that this was a hate crime.
So who is this man, this suspect? Investigators say he's a well-known white supremacist and a one-time leader of the local Ku Klux Klan. Witnesses say he even screamed, "Heil Hitler," when police led him away in handcuffs. Imagine. The shootings unfolded yesterday on the eve of Passover in the city of Overland Park, an upscale suburb of Kansas City. Police say the suspect first opened fire at that Jewish community center and killed that 14-year-old little boy who just sung "You're Gonna Miss Me When I'm Gone." Family members say both victims were Christian. Cops say the suspect then drove a few blocks away to a Jewish retirement community where he gunned down a third victim. Officials say she worked at a center for children who were visually impaired.